Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Happy Monday. KKK. It's finally getting warm out there. Actually, guess what it is? It's 69. 69 and windy. Yeah, finally. You're the first one in. I guess there was a shooting last night in Oklahoma. And I guess Fox Business just put out a truck went into a pile of people again that killed two people in Germany city. I think they said Rudy is recovering. I think he might make it through. Well, wait a few minutes here. Tim's normally early. We got a couple of short ones on Billy so far. Okay. Hey, mine to go. Oh, Starfire. A lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff again. So we'll probably go 2 to 5. I'll try to make it 2 to 5. Take an hour break and come back at 7. Maria's on time. Okay, we got a couple minutes yet. I'll wait till we start right on time. All right, we are going to go ahead. Oh, Lucy must be busy. Normally she comes in and signs in. Carol, oh, where's she at today? Well, we're going to go ahead and get started, you guys. A lot of stuff. We got a bell. It's an hour. This is last night, you guys. I'm just going to play this.
This is an automatic reading of the article. Updated. 13 injured in mass shooting at Oklahoma campground. 3 suspects allegedly fled into woods. Hospital on lockdown. Massive manhunt underway. Video. Audio by Carbonate Ticks. At least 13 people were injured during a mass shooting at a campground in Edmond, Oklahoma, on Sunday evening. Multiple victims were transported to nearby hospitals, and a lockdown was imposed at one of them. The incident unfolded late Sunday night at the Lake Arcadia campground area in Edmond. Advertisement. Hide this AD, nature's morphine, the pain reliever that is Big Pharma terrified fresh living choices. This is obviously a very terrifying situation, and we understand the concern from the public and those involved, and we are working extremely hard to find the suspects, Edmond Police spokesperson Emily Ward said during a press conference. Ward said there may be additional victims who were transported to hospitals by vehicle instead of ambulance. Emergency responders, including police and medical units, rushed to the scene after reports of shots being fired at the popular camping spot. Advertisement. Hide this AD. A witness claimed that 3 individuals were seen fleeing into nearby woods. Authorities secured the area and were conducting a manhunt into early Monday morning. Advertisement. Hide this AD. The Mirror reports, there are reportedly 9 victims, and Integris Hospital is on lockdown. The scanner feed reported that officers were requested at an area hospital for fighting. At 9:49 p.m. the scanner reported that the possible suspects were in a white car. One suspect was reportedly black with dreads, and another a white man in a red tank top. Videos that appear to be taken at the scene show heavy police presence. Police have yet to confirm details of the alleged mass shooting. Advertisement.
All right, that was last night. And I got oh, I won't play that yet. Oh boy, what should we play? Two minutes.
finally seeing the system for what it truly is, a predatory machine designed to harvest our energy and our silence. But as we see so many videos and posts of people seeing the whole system of corruption, we then go to the comments, and we see a wall of voices defending the very chains that bind us. You see a manufactured consensus telling you that you're the crazy one, that the predators have your best interests at heart. But do not be deceived by all the comments, because what you are witnessing is a digital ghost play. The system knows it has lost the argument, so it is flooding the zone with an army of shadows. And the evidence is right in front of us, like its AI bot swarms. These aren't just simple scripts anymore, but they are coordinated agents designed to mimic human frustration and logic to drown out the truth.
Thanks,
In any
Bio.
major anti-system thread, up to 20%, sometimes more, of the activity in the comments is synthetic. They are also using credential stuffing to hijack the profiles of real civilians. If you see an old account with a family photo suddenly defending corruption, you aren't seeing a person, you're seeing a hacked puppet. Also, troll farms from across the globe are creating American personas to manipulate our local discourse, creating the illusion that your neighbor disagrees with you when, in reality, your neighbor is just as fed up as you are. The goal is simple: they weaponized loneliness. They want the unawakened to feel validated in their slumber and to make the awakened question their own sight. They want you to think you're alone so you'll crawl back into the system's embrace. They can fake the numbers, but they cannot fake the truth. The comments are a lie, but the awakening is real, and the machine is getting louder because it is terrified. So stay awake. We do not forgive, we do not forget. Anonymously enlightening out.
Okay, mask guy. Trying to find my Amanda Grace one. I can't find it yet. But let me know on this one, Flying Eagle. Five minutes.
Okay, what's gonna happen with our mortgages, our cars, our credit cards, da 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 da. Think about it like this. Anything that is under the old central banking system, the central bank system, Federal Reserve system, anything that was created in their system, and this goes for your 401ks.
The new one? Okay, I wasn't sure on this one.
Anything that is in that system will go away. Why? As this gal, Melissa asked, well, why would they do that? Why would they pay off? If you go over to my poster, you see, why would they pay? Why is there going to be a one-time debt forgiveness? Well, just a simple, obvious thought is because the old system is no longer operating. So all of our numbers, all of our accounting is all done in that system. It's no longer working. We are going to a new system, a completely new benevolent quantum world. So now we are going to, they'll have the one-time debt forgiveness. Don't know when, don't know how, don't know what.
5:40 and about 4 minutes.
Don't ask.
Left.
But it is currently going on. It's been going on actively for 3 or 4 years. I personally know about a dozen people that have had their mortgages, bankruptcies, credit cards, whatever it is, zeroed out. They go to pay their car payment or whatever, and there's nothing there. There's no one to contact. No one knows nothing. Okay. So they gradually have been testing out the system. And gradually, because think about it, if everybody just had all of their, everything just happened, you woke up in the morning and the entire world has no debt, all this is going on, you have to use new way of doing that stuff, it would literally create total panic and chaos. So that's why this is it's painful for those of us that have been alerted to this knowledge, 6 years ago, and not understanding all of this timing wise, and it's been very difficult. But it is going to happen.
What do you guys think of this
Don't
one?
know when. I feel like we're in the thick of it. August is insane energies. Insane energies. All of you are going to be making decisions or acting in a way that completely, utterly shifts your timelines. One way or the other. You're all choosing your timelines for the next couple decades between now and end of August, now through November. Okay. It's like you're given a big pot of gold. And it's like, go create. What do you want to do? And it's like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm making decisions based on the new energies. Worrying about your bills, that's old energies. It's old energies. All of you guys that are like, oh, if I had all my bills paid off, oh, if the reval would happen and I could cash out my Iraqi dinars, or if this would happen, then what? Then what are you going to do? Okay, this is programming. Know that it's programming. Who cares if you have bills or not in the old system? And you're questioning, why would they do that? You're questioning that through because in the old world, these evil beings that wanted to control humanity and keep humanity enslaved, they would never do that. But that's what I don't know how else to say it. I don't know how many times to say it. We are in a war. We are in a silent war. We are in an information war. We are in a tech war. We've had technology withheld back from us because the cell phone, the iPhones we use are over 2,000 years old. It's old, clunky technology. All of those patents, all of that technology is currently being released and is releasing. We're leaving this old world. So please leave those thoughts, leave those questions to the back.
What do you think, Kay?
Change your thinking. This is a whole paradigm shift. I know it's difficult. But I'm telling you, if you will hold on to this and realize, say, okay, we're in a war. There's two sides.
Oh, that was it. I thought that was a good one to play. Starfire, you know anything about this? Here. The prophecy was watched April. It's still April. Today on the Julian calendar. So I guess we're going by the Julian. It's May 18th. I think that was 18th or 19th. Okay, see where we're at here now. All right. This was last night she came out. I don't think we played this one last night.
The South. I'm in Alabama. I'm not going to say exactly where. But if you're in Alabama, you know exactly which Popeyes I'm talking about. Why is it that the Popeyes in my area they have already worked themselves up in a fucking rage? A rage when you pull up in the drive-thru. I have never in my life, this is the rudest Popeyes, and I'm going to tell you something. It ain't just me. It's not just me. When I was doing DoorDash a couple years ago, I don't care if they tipped me $25 to go get their order at Popeyes, I would not take it. That is how bad the damn Popeyes is here. They hate your guts. They hate your guts. And when you place an order, the whole time they're praying, wishing that you would die in the damn drive-thru. And I am not making this up. You pull up at this Popeyes here in the South in Alabama, and it's like, Popeyes, can I take your order? I mean, they are already in a manic state of psychosis. And you're like, and I'm very Southern and sweet. So I'm like, hey, yes, can I get your, repeat it. Ma'am, can you speak up? Yes. Can I get the spicy chicken combo? Yeah. Do you want spicy? Do you want it spicy or non-spicy? Spicy. What kind of side? Can I get the fries? I can't hear you. Speak up. Can I get the fries, please? $17.97. Okay, so it is absolutely horrendous. Then let me tell you something. So when I was doing DoorDash, you would pull up at 8:00 at night. The entire staff is sitting outside the front of the store, smoking a cigarette, laughing, got their friends has done shown up from wherever, just having a damn party. You at the damn drive-thru. There ain't a person in the damn store. There ain't a person in there. There ain't a cook. There's nobody. They're all outside. So let me tell you something. There's a little town in Mississippi called Lucedale. I don't know if you guys have heard about it. It's about the damn countryest, friendliest little town. I love it so much. You pull up at the Popeyes in Lucedale, Mississippi. You pull to the drive-thru. Glitter comes out of the speaker and just showers your car with glitter. And you pull up and they're like, hi, welcome to Popeyes. I hope you're having a wonderful day. What can we get you today? That is exactly how they act at the Lucedale Popeyes. And you are already trembling because you're like, this is a trick. As soon as I give them my order, they're going to slam the door, spit on me, cuss me out, whatever. And you're like, hey, can I get like the number 7, the spicy chicken with fries? Well, honey, sugar pie, you sure can. Would you like to upsize that? We'll just upsize that for free. Would you like that? Well, yes, ma'am, I sure would. I'm telling you guys, is at the Popeyes everywhere. There's only one Popeyes I've been through. It was really sweet, and that was Lucedale, Mississippi. Come down here to the South in Alabama and try going through the damn Popeyes. It's like going through the damn, you're thinking you're going to go get through you're going to have a damn drive-by happen while you're in the drive-thru from the damn employees. Hey, guys, I'm working.
Another good one. I got one more from today so far.
Judge over Cole's case, the guy that ran toward the president with a NUG, that was going to spray everybody in there and unalive them. Well, because he's been put in a padded room with no windows and no recreation time because he said he did not plan on surviving that. He actually came there to unalive people, and then I guess he figured they would take him out, right? Well, because that didn't happen, he is on SUICIDE watch, right? Well, guess what? So the judge just apologized to this young man because of the way he's being treated, and he wants answers by tomorrow from the Department of Justice on why this young fella hasn't had any recreation time, and why is he in a padded room 24 hours a day? If he would have gotten past those men, we would have 8, maybe 12, maybe more people unalive that run this country. But this judge just apologized to him for the way he's being treated. A fucking potential assassin was just apologized to by the residing judge. Let that sink in for you guys. Wonder how this case is going to go. Hey guys,
Okay, we got 2 in so far. All right, we got Amanda Grace here for update on Melania for Rudy.
He has been hospitalized. He's in critical but stable condition. People are being urged publicly right now to pray, and we're going to do that in a moment. But I want to point out the timing to you of this happening because there's something happening here. So we all saw what happened at the Kentucky Derby over the weekend. The horse Renegade in the number 1 position, and the horse Golden Tempo in the number 19 position, right? Golden Tempo comes in first, Renegade comes in second. The 1 in 19 position equals 911, right? So that happens. Now, this year, 2026, Rosh Hashanah is set to begin on 9/11.
I remember that one. Sorry about that one, you guys. We're going to play this one. 4 minutes.
Venezuela, escorted by several fighter jets in an attempt to demonstrate strength and intimidate his enemies, proving that the American president was not afraid. However, this was a delicate situation. Even without the dictator in power, several rebel groups were still seeking some form of revenge against the Americans. With that in mind, 4 Venezuelan fighter jets were preparing to take off from an airbase. The pilots were already inside their aircraft, waiting only for authorization from their superiors. The jets were armed with multiple missiles, but most likely this would be a one-way mission for them. As soon as clearance was granted, the pilots began an accelerated taxi across the Venezuelan airbase. Takeoff had to happen as quickly as possible for the mission to be completed, but the problems were only just beginning. Inside Air Force One, the American president calmly read a report on trade policies, completely unaware of the danger rapidly approaching from the southern horizon. One by one, the fighter jets surged forward, gaining speed along the cracked and poorly maintained runway, leaving behind only the smell of jet fuel and the weight of an irreversible decision.
Pretty cool here.
At that moment, American intelligence was already aware that 4 Venezuelan fighters had taken off just seconds earlier. The pilots grew increasingly tense. Protecting the presidential aircraft had become an absolute priority, as it was now in serious danger. Despite being far more outdated than their American counterparts, the Venezuelan jets continued to close the distance at high speed. Meanwhile, off the Venezuelan coast, U.S. naval vessels, already informed of the situation, raced against time to provide support to the presidential aircraft. As fighters moved into position on the aircraft carrier, the cruiser sailing alongside waited only for the Venezuelan jets to enter its engagement range, before unleashing a massive barrage of missiles toward them. To make matters even worse for the 4 Venezuelan fighters, several FA-18s began taking off in rapid succession, lifting off one after another to reinforce the aircraft already escorting the president. The Venezuelan jets flew as close to each other as possible. With every passing second, the Americans drew closer and closer. Any mistake at this point could prove fatal. The biggest problem was that the Americans had far more advanced aircraft, not to mention the vast network of radars capable of anticipating the Venezuelans' positions. A massive number of missiles were suddenly launched toward them, tearing through the sky at unimaginable speeds.
It's not over.
The situation instantly became critical. Even the smallest error could mean the end. Trapped in a true aerial hell, the fighters executed extreme evasive maneuvers, diving, spinning, and accelerating to the very limits of their capabilities in a desperate attempt to escape the incoming projectiles. But the fateful moment arrived when one of the jets failed to evade the attack. Missiles were coming from all directions, and one struck its target directly, sending the aircraft plunging toward the ground. The sky had become a true battlefield. Fire streaked through the air from all sides, both from U.S. fighter jets and from the warship positioned below, which was now able to accurately engage the Venezuelan aircraft. Surrounded and without any viable escape routes, they had nowhere left to run. American military power asserted itself overwhelmingly. With the threat completely neutralized and the airspace once again under control, the danger was finally over. The president was then able to continue his journey safely, without facing any further issues along the route in this simulation.
Okay.
The aircraft of the President of the
Thought that was a good one. 3 minutes on another cabinet meeting thing clip. Who won the 2020 election?
This question has come up many times in these hearings, and it's become an issue of significant political dispute and debate. So, with that, I'd say that that President Biden was certified the winner of the 2020 election.
So you're unwilling to say he won the election. How about you, Mr. Roberts?
I'm sorry, Senator.
I'm sorry, Mr. Jones.
I apologize, Senator. I have the same answer as my colleague, Senator.
Same answer as the previous one?
The previous nominee. The Senate did.
Mr. Coons, how about you?
Thank you, Senator. And I have the same answer as Mr.
Same answer. Mr. Mark?
Wonder how much money they got paid for.
I am amazed and really appalled that nominees for a lifetime appointment to the federal bench are unwilling to respond on an issue of fact. And I'm not going to try to get an answer out of you because clearly you've been rehearsed to provide a stock answer, which I think really reflects not only on your honesty, but really on your fitness to be a federal judge.
And let's recall, of course, it was at a different hearing a short time ago where Kevin Warsh, the President Trump's nominee to be Fed chair, gave a similar answer about the 2020 election when asked by Senator Warren who won it. And Senator Blumenthal, I mean, this is, but you make a key point.
Okay,
these are lifetime appointments.
Michael?
These are judiciary. This will be judges.
Welcome.
The very model of impartiality, the very model of allegedly a fact-based profession, and they can't answer a simple question, which we will. Joe Biden won the 2020 election. It was not Donald Trump. He lost. Tell us how concerned this makes you.
Well, first of all, begin with the fact that not only are federal judges appointed for life and supposed to be impartial and fair, they're also supposed to be supremely independent. And what these answers demonstrated to me was a fear of Donald Trump that would absolutely indicate their lack of independence. And we tend to forget, amidst all of the chaos and confusion in the Trump administration, what he is doing to the federal judiciary, which is really a bulwark for our freedom. It's proved to be a kind of firewall, not always, but at least at the district court level, a guarantee of certain rights and liberties. And here we have a whole generation of federal judges without that sense of independence and impartiality. For most people, the federal district judge sitting in their state.
Yeah. Potato won clearly. Yeah, right. I got a few more short ones and we'll get to Billy.
Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. And we know that he's talking about the fig tree generation. And it has everything to do with Israel. The first fig tree was barren, as we read about in Luke chapter 13, verses 6 through 9. A religion without fruit, but judgment was delayed by mercy. Then we have the cursed fig tree that we read about in Matthew chapter 21, verse 19, which was leaves without fruit, and the judgment fell at 70 AD. Now the third fig tree is going to be replanted, which is Israel being reborn. We know that happened in 1948 when Israel became a country again. So I was talking to a friend about the different generations. So I looked up what generation was alive during 1948. And it's the baby boomers. We know at the beginning of time, in Genesis chapter 1, verse 28, God said, unto them, be fruitful and multiply. And that's exactly what that generation is known for. The last generation was fruitful and multiplied, just like the first. But this is the wild part. That generation added 72.6 million people. 726, the literal number in the Strong's Concordance for hapazo or rapture. You really can't make this stuff up. There are so many signs pointing to that generation being the last. Listen up. Just want to show y'all.
Okay, that's another one of our favorites. And our other one, we're going to play two of them she has out. And then we got three, about 10 minutes of Billy Bean. A lot of stuff getting out.
Video, and immediately it came down. And then a few minutes ago, they just violated me for a video that should not have been violated. I said absolutely nothing, and I put it up about 4 or 5 days ago, and that's what they're doing now is they'll let me post videos, and then 4 or 5 days later, they violate them. This app has serious issues. So we all know this, though. That's why, like I said before, I'm writing these tiny little books because I could never get out there and make videos on what I say in my books. Immediately, it would be taken down for misinformation, which it's not. So if you want to get any of my little books, the link, as you know, is in my bio on my main page. There's a PayHip link, and that shows the little books that I've written so far. I have trouble making videos now on either page, number 3 or number 4. And I will probably this afternoon make number 5, and I'll let you guys know when I do. And we'll see how many pages I can go through until I say screw TikTok and I'm done. Because this app is pathetic. I can't say anything. I want to be able to get out here and make normal videos and tell you guys everything and spew the truth and not have to write little books. But they don't let me. They don't let me. So this app is just, it's like too much. Almost not worth it. But I will make number 5. Like I said, we'll see how long this goes. I have a couple of violations on this one already, and this is the newer page right here. So we'll make number 5. Like I said, we'll see how far this goes. I don't know. Probably not too much farther. I got to find another app, and I know they all have community guidelines, and they all violate, because even YouTube has violated me. So they don't want truth out, point blank. And the people that are in charge of these apps, they got to lean left. I don't know. They don't want people knowing. They don't want people to wake up and to know the truth. So I'll let you know when I create number 5.
That's how it happened to me, right?
Until then, I'll just keep writing little books because that way people can read them. They're quick and simple, get right to the point. And it's something that I would say in a video if I could make videos. So have a great day. I will be back later, and I'll let you know when I've created the next one.
I got a second one here.
This was funny. This was a joke. But like I tell you guys, they put it out there in front of your face, and people just don't believe it. Everything, they put it out there in front of your face, and people have to catch on. They think everything's a joke. There's no way that could take place in this country. I literally just wrote a book about this called The Last President. And if you want to know who he is, a link is in my bio on my main page. My books are in there, and it's called The Last President. I've done a lot of research on this. The problem is people don't research. Some people are just not educated enough. They think everything's a joke. They don't want to look into it. But there are 2 kinds of this, and I don't want to say even the K word, because this video won't get posted. We know this. They take my stuff down.
K-word.
So there are two kinds. There's the absolute, and then there's a constitutional one. And I'm talking about the K word that's in this photo right here. There are two kinds. Do some research. There's a powerful one, and then there's a ceremonial one. It's not impossible to have one with our Constitution.
Yeah, you're right.
Gotta wake up,
That's
guys.
strange.
I'd love to get out here and be able to do long videos and spew the truth and everything I've researched. I really would. And I used to be able to on my original page, but then they caught on, started violating me left and right. They put it out there in front of your faces. Just do some research. That's all. Nothing's impossible.
Okay, we got hers on. All right, 3 Billy Beans, you guys. And then we got to do Mel. We still got to do Mel. Let's start with this one.
Neighbours, for too long we've made things hard on ourselves. Enough is enough.
12 minutes.
Welcome to Truth by Billy Bean. Today's date, May 4, 2026, time in Texas, about 9 a.m. Some of the things we'll cover. Congratulations to Cherie DeVoe, the first woman trainer for her horse to win the Kentucky Derby. And U.S. Intel, President Trump, Project Freedom, hantavirus, and the U.S. and a F-35. What does that have to do with Russia? And what's going on right now in the Strait of Hormuz with U.S. destroyers and 15,000 U.S. troops? So let's get started. We have this information coming out. The sun is quiet again. But on Space Weather on YouTube, Ben Davidson's site, he brings out a U.S. map that shows vulnerable coastal areas of the U.S. Most of it has to do, so we have the U.S., in this area and some along the coastlines of impacts of weakening coastal areas in the U.S. to be impacted during this pole shift we're going through by radiation from the sun and cosmic waves from space and so on. Very interesting. So that's going on. And we have this from TBX. Air India cancels all international flights until July. And we have congratulations, Cherie DeVoe, 44. She began her own horse training business 8 years ago and now is the first female trainer to win the Kentucky Derby with her horse, Golden Tempo. Congratulations. Golden Tempo was a 23-1 long shot. So that's going on. And we have this currently in Armenia. A European summit is going on where Europe is embracing a non-European nation, Canada. And we see Canada going full stop communist. And we know the first step for a nation to go communist is to disarm its people, which we see Canada doing right now. It's believed Canada is setting up to host the Chinese military in their bivouacking efforts right on the border of America. So that's going on. Hantavirus. Now this is, I'll give this report and put in what I believe. I find it very hard to believe that hantavirus is responsible for up to 3 or 4 deaths and 8 additional cases on a cruise ship that left Argentina 3 days ago. The ship is named Hondias and then traveled from Argentina up to an island off the coast of Africa, Cape Verde, where people began to die. We know one couple in their 70s, the husband and wife, have both passed away, allegedly from hantavirus. And a third or fourth have also passed away. We don't have details on them. And there have been 8 additional cases, allegedly, of hantavirus. Now, hantavirus is a very rare disease that people get from inhaling over a period of time particles given off by the saliva, the urine, or the feces of mice or rats. And it takes 1 to 8 weeks to incubate. Now, this cruise ship left Argentina 3 days ago, which would mean all of these people who allegedly are coming down with hantavirus were exposed to the hantavirus weeks ago. So, who is saying that they are passing away from hantavirus? So, I'll keep my eye on this situation. We have U.S. intel. Okay, we have last night about midnight, we have a report from U.S. intel that Iran, the IRGC, launched missiles at 2 ships in the Persian Gulf. One was hit and exploded. And we don't have any more details on that this morning. What's coming out on U.S. TV news is that this morning, under the scope of President Trump's Project Freedom to provide navigation freedom in the Strait of Hormuz, we're hearing that no U.S. ships have been hit by Iran and that 2 U.S. flagships have successfully transited the Strait of Hormuz and have gone out of the Strait of Hormuz. These ships that U.S. intel puts out, one ship was hit last night. We don't have details on it. So that's going on. But the U.S. military is saying that no U.S. ships have been hit by Iran. We have this also from U.S. intel. President Trump's Project Freedom is being put forth as a brilliant move by President Trump to get around the War Powers Act, because this is a joint project by the U.S. State Department and the U.S. military as a humanitarian project. And the U.S. has deployed this morning guided missile destroyers, plus 100 land and sea-based aircraft, plus 15,000 U.S. troops, plus unmanned platforms, both in the air and underwater. So President Trump appears to be fully committed to escorting all ships out of the Persian Gulf, around the Strait of Hormuz, and out. So U.S. CENTCOM Admiral Cooper has also made statements regarding this humanitarian project, and that the mission is being directed by President Trump. It's a joint mission with the U.S. State Department and U.S. military, humanitarian in scope. And we have this. Yeah. So we're hearing bits and pieces. We've been hearing over the past 2 to 3 weeks allegations by Iran that Iran took down a U.S. F-35 plane. Now, I put forth Iran does not have the capability to take down a U.S. F-35, but Russia does. And what are we seeing happening in Russia over the past 7 days? We're seeing massive hits on Russia's oil and gas infrastructure. And we saw just last night, we saw a hit on Moscow with many drones coming within 4 miles of the Kremlin. Allegedly, these hits are being made by Ukraine. Now, about 7 to 10 days ago, we also saw a long-distance hit across Russia over the Ural Mountains, a distance from Ukraine of about 700 miles. And that hit also did damage to Russia's hidden air base over the Ural Mountains. Now, we know a few days ago, President Trump and President Putin had an hour-and-a-half phone call. I submit some of this was being discussed. And we can add in, we heard last Thursday the passing of songwriter Don Schlitz, who at the age of 23 wrote the song The Gambler that contains the lines, "You've got to know when to hold them and when to fold them." It's possible we might see in the near future a second phone call being held between President Trump and President Putin. So what's going on this morning with Project Freedom? So the U.S. military says no U.S. ships have been hit by Iran. And the U.S. military and U.S. government states that 2 U.S. flagged vessels have successfully come out of the Strait of Hormuz this morning under the umbrella of Project Freedom. So this concludes my update. I love you, and I'll see you soon.
Unless you know.
Okay, that's number 1. We got 2 more. About 9 minutes. What happened? Actually, 4 minutes. 4.
U.S. is operating under new rules of engagement. Thanks for like, subscribe, and share. We have this coming from Deep Dive, Colonel Davis, that a confirmed
mail
hit
coming up
by
after Billy.
IRGC Iran on a UAE port, Fujairah, and also from U.S. intel that IRGC also hit a UAE vessel, and both are on fire. It's put forth by Colonel Davis that the reason Iran wants to hit the UAE is that the UAE can ship oil out of the Persian Gulf area and bypass the Strait of Hormuz. So we have the Strait of Hormuz here, but we have the UAE on a little spit of land here. So it can ship oil out and bypass the Strait of Hormuz. I was wondering why Iran was so intent on taking out the UAE port. Now we know. And we have this from U.S. Intel. IRGC has hit UAE port and vessel using drones and also missiles. And that UAE oil terminal located at the port and the vessel are both on fire. Now, this information is coming out from Israeli Defense Department spokesperson Boaz Bismuth has put out on Israeli TV Khan channel that information has come to Israel from UAE Defense Department spokesperson Ali Al-Numaimi that the UAE has been hit by Iran this morning, and that the UAE shortly will declare war on Iran. And we have also U.S. Intel, new information about the U.S. military operating now under new rules of engagement put out by the U.S. Senate this morning, that the U.S. military can hit Iranian targets that pose an immediate threat to vessels in the Persian Gulf. Under that guideline, the U.S. military has just sank 6 IRGC speedboats, and this statement is being put out by Admiral Cooper, commander of CENTCOM. This concludes my flash update. It's good to be in prayer for America, President Trump, the U.S. military, and world peace. I love you, and I'll see you soon.
Okay, this is the third and final one for now. Then we'll get an hour of mail. Eight and a half.
Time in Texas, about 11 a.m. A flash update. The U.S. new rules of engagement. President Trump, the Iranian military is gone. And Iran breaks the ceasefire by hitting the UAE. Now the UAE military preps to respond. So we have this. This came from a Facebook update.
Here you go.
We know that President Trump put in place months ago a brilliant plan to bring down our enemies, including China. So first he took down Venezuela, no oil to China. And then he took, before that, he took control of the Panama Canal away from China. And then in this recent takedown of oil to China has been the Iran conflict. And now we have, going from Texas to Japan, 900,000 barrels of American crude oil via the Panama Canal. Way to go, President Trump. Make America great again. We have this from Israeli News Live earlier this morning that Iran had hit a port in the UAE. We have this from U.S. Intel that today the IRGC just declared the Strait of Hormuz is closed. They sent messages to ships in the area via radio. And we know that Admiral Cooper, CENTCOM commander, is now on the ground in the Middle East, directly giving orders for the U.S. military under President Trump's Project Freedom. We have this from U.S. Intel. Just a little while ago, UAE, via a cell phone warning system, told the UAE citizens to shelter in place, stay away from windows and doors. And we have this, U.S. Intel. So Republicans in the Senate are now drafting new rules of engagement for the U.S. military in the Persian Gulf. And this includes the U.S. military
probably got another
is
new
going to be authorized to respond with
today.
military strikes when the military identifies an immediate threat to vessels in the Persian Gulf. In other words, the U.S. military doesn't have to wait for Iran to target the U.S. military, but rather for Iran to begin to target vessels in the Persian Gulf. Then the U.S. military can now respond with military force. And this especially targets the IRGC, including their fast boats in the Persian Gulf. This would strengthen President Trump's shoot-kill order a few weeks ago. This also includes Iran's missile batteries. So the U.S. military now is authorized to hit the fast boats, to hit Iranian missile batteries, and any other targets the U.S. military may identify as an immediate threat to vessels in the Persian Gulf. So that's going on. And we have this. Yeah, CENTCOM statement. The U.S. military will use American Navy destroyers to escort ships out of the Strait of Hormuz. So that's going on. And we have from 2CTV, just prior to the UAE giving that warning to its citizens, Iran targeted the UAE and hit the Fujani port in the UAE. Now, 2CTV had given a warning yesterday that he believed the UAE would be one of the first targets that IRGC would hit when conflict resumed. And that's what we're seeing. It's believed the IRGC may try a preemptive hit and try to blame the UAE. But all the eyes in the world are on that area right now and know that it was the IRGC who, a few minutes ago, put in the air ballistic missiles fired from Isfahan toward the UAE. The UAE was able, with their air defense system, to take down 3 and one landed in the sea. And now we have this. Yeah, so now the UAE is prepping their military to strike Iran. It's put forth by the U.S. and U.S. CENTCOM that IRGC has broken the ceasefire. And we have now Iran issuing an evac order for southern Iran. Believe that this area will be hit shortly by the UAE. And we have this. Iran, has launched ballistic missiles from Bashur and Isfahan toward the UAE. This is a fourth wave of launches the IRGC has made this morning toward the UAE. The IRGC is also putting their speedboats in the Strait of Hormuz, and these small speedboats this morning have hit two vessels, one owned by South Korea and one owned by the UK. And we have President Trump, social media, the U.S. military, Navy 100%, Air Force 100%, Army 100%, and other branches of the U.S. military are at 100% capacity and operational ability, while everything in Iran has been destroyed. Their Navy, their Air Force, and so on. This concludes my flash. I love you, and I'll see you soon.
Okay, we got 3 short ones so far today. All right, have your beverage and snack ready for an hour, a bell.
Welcome, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Well, somewhere it is the 4th of May and the rest of us are still in Sunday. So it's kind of like a mixture of a few days. What's really, really amazing is, of course, I'm going to go back over some notes while we're waiting for a few more people to hop on, and the beautiful Alice is in the house ready to ask her question. But let's talk about the onset of what's been going on, other than the King Charles thing. So let's go with that. But just a reminder that the Federal Reserve, the beautiful Mr. Powell, he ends his term on May the 15th. His predecessor has just arrived and is handing over the reins of course, that being the Federal Reserve. Is this the actual complete takeover, the collapse of the cabal? We're getting very, very excited, aren't we? Of course, during Las Vegas, from the 27th to the 29th of April, we saw the big conference over there. A full cultural movement has occurred. We'll talk a little bit more about the announcements that were actually made and where we're sitting with the revaluation of our currencies. So what was also interesting, we can talk about Watergate and the spying on politicians. That still seems to be in play regarding, of course, the whole 2020 election and what have you. So keep an eye out on that. May Day, May Day, May Day. Well, in 1939, Batman appeared for the first time in Detective Comics number 27. Just putting that little thing out there as well. Of course, the UAE are expected to leave OPEC and the oil cartels. The reason this is so important too is, of course, with Venezuela's starting their production up as well. They're having a wage realignment, and this is a realignment for all of their citizens, and their pensions over there are also expecting an increase. This, ladies and gentlemen, is part of Jasara. Get very, very excited. We're also going to be talking a little bit more in depth a little bit later regarding the Coinbase derivatives that also were activated on May the 1st. This accelerates those invested in XRP, not financial advice, but this aligns XRP, of course, with new instrumental tools to institutionalize all of those banks coming over to the quantum system. So these are just more tools that are coming, a more regulated block trending under the CFTC Oversight Committee. But what also was occurring on May the 1st was this PI network. PI 3.14. A full circle happened. They unlocked 20 million coins as well on the PI network. Don't underestimate that. If you want to know some more, definitely pop over to Digital Assets with Mel, and there's some really big articles over there as well. November the 1st, 2017, POTUS will be well insulated on Air Force One and abroad. He is going to be in China on May the 14th and 15th. You can't make this up, ladies and gentlemen. What did we just say about the 15th of May? This is also connected to the peaks, the love heart that we've been talking and following for many, many years. Now, interesting that we talk about POTUS will be insulated on Air Force One, while the beautiful Camilla came over on a commercial flight to be with her illustrious man, dead man walking, rang the bell, gave the bell, whoop-de-doo-dah. We know it's now the end of that regime. We've all understood that. But this is what I'm going to point out. May 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's go. That's what I'm going to say right about that. So let's go to May the 6th. Are we 2 days ahead of schedule? Is this the 2 days ahead of schedule? Well, Protocol 26 is on the Stellar Network, and it's called Yardstick. Yard, Y-A-R-D, stick. Is this the HEMA? The HEMA. We know that the Stellar Network is everything. We know XRP is running on Stellar Network, and of course, Stellar is for us, the people. So Pope Leo has also come into the forefront. Is this the HEMA? Pope Leo back in the day? A physical, what is a yardstick? Well, it's a physical 3-foot ruler. Interesting. Metaphorically, though, it's a standard or a benchmark used for comparison, evaluation, or is that a revaluation, and judgment. Is it Judgment Day on May the 6th? We will wait and see. But what this protocol is actually doing for the Stellar Network, of course, is faster, more programmable, and more institutionally ready. How many more protocols have we got left? I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen. But again, is this Judgment Day of releasing it? Basically, those who do follow the digital assets, Soroban, smart contracts, these are the benchmark tools to complete that. So is this the final full circle that we are looking for? We will wait and see. Okay, so let's go to what else happened on May the 1st. Oh, before I forget, my prediction. Someone did ask me this the other day. My prediction for XRP, not financial advice, just a little bit of fun, is $3.75 by the end of May. We'll see what happens. But anyway, back to May the 1st. What else happened while we were watching all the theatre of the King Charles, Scissorhands, whatever? We just watch all of that unplay. Well, the Pentagon has now transformed the whole US military. No one's talking about that because they're all worried about the king. Okay, the Pentagon has changed over to be AI First Fighting Force. They are calling it Thunder Forge. What's thunder, ladies and gentlemen? It's a vibrational change. Forge, let's forge forward. This is the army, the military. Get excited. It also included, the program was signed. Now, we have had discussions over this over many years, but some people are still not quite 100% certain about these particular companies. All of these companies that I'm going to list have all been incorporated into your new quantum financial system. These included the signing at this May the 1st in the Pentagon included Google, Amazon, Microsoft, NVIDIA, not financial advice there, OpenAI, Oracle, not financial advice, SpaceX, and Reflection AI. But what was very interesting, the statement goes on to say that Anthropic was excluded from that. Not financial advice, but you need to keep an eye on that one. As we move forward to May the 17th, why is May the 17th? We were always told, we'll get to your questions in a moment, ladies and gentlemen, I just had to catch up on Wacky Wednesday as well. May the 17th, based on the biblical and historical tracking, May the 17th is known as the Great Flood in Genesis 7:11. Can't make that up, ladies and gentlemen. The Christian Ascension, often observed in Orthodox and Roman Catholic traditions as the Feast of Ascension, where Jesus ascended into the heavens. In Samaria ministry, it talks of Jesus passing through Samaria, and it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Very interesting. Please note that these dates and any dates that are given, of course, including on this channel, do not line up with the Gregorian calendar. So when we talk about biblical, it doesn't necessarily mean it's in the Gregorian calendar either. So keep that in mind as we move forward. We're starting to see some movement, of course, attaching to the Ethiopian calendar. I was just sharing with a friend just a short time ago. The Ethiopian calendar is actually in 2018, and it's actually in November 2018. You can't make it up. However, let's get back on track. Before we take all of your questions to start the show, Ripple's announcement or expansion for the Middle East and Africa. Boom, ladies and gentlemen. If that didn't wake you up by now and you're not awake, you're in trouble. Because this means that it is done, ladies and gentlemen. If Ripple makes an announcement that they are expanding in the Middle East and Africa, means it's done. A very, very special thank you to my beautiful admin who posted the best article of the day is the Nigerian Forex reserves. We know, and we've talked about it a lot here on my show, where I said that the integration of your quantum system will be through your Forex exchange. This particular article, although it talks about Nigeria, understand everything in your quantum financial system in Africa started in Nigeria. The beginning of the end of the cabal system in Africa. I am so looking forward to hearing all of your questions, ladies and gentlemen. We will start with Alice if she is still there. We'll have to find you all because you've all been jumping through the feed.
We got about
But we will get to your Q&A right now, ladies and gentlemen.
There
so
you
let's
are.
go. Okay, I did see Alice up here before, but she's disappeared. KW, I haven't said hello to you for a while, so we have KW. L's and K's after that. Gee, it's all about the K's today.
Hello to Mel.
Hello, how are you?
Good.
Oh, gosh.
Yes.
I saw you. Hello. Els K, just hold on one moment, darling. I'll get to you as soon as KW has finished her question. How are you, darling?
I just wanted to find a quick one. I just wanted to find out if I can get into the Australian, your Australian.
Yes.
Group.
Yes. Well, as I said to the hundreds of people who did request that, understand these groups are created by private groups and they keep them private. So you can, you can start another group though. Just saying. Yes. So start a group and I can come into your group anytime and we can catch up for sure. So, but yes, okay. And I'll get to your 86 messages at some point in the next 2 days. I'm still catching up. So, you know, I will eventually get there. So it's all good. So, so thanks, KW. But yes, for all of those who are wanting to grasp into the Australian group, it is, as I said, a private group. So, but anyway, we just lost Alan K. So Alan K, when you come back and I see you popping up, you'll be back up. So thanks, KW. Appreciate all the work you do in the background as well. Love you to bits. And thank you, darling. We'll get to you very, very soon. All for Truth. Now, I'm sure All for Truth has a question. We're also going to go to Angela after that. And then, of course, Carla B. You can certainly come on after that as well. So All for Truth, how are you? There's Alan K. Yes. We'll get to them in a minute. All for Truth, how are you?
Hey, Mel, I'm doing great. I absolutely could not hear anything you said for the last 4 minutes.
Really? That's because it was important stuff and it was biblical, so of course they're going to cut me off. Oh, my gosh, little ferals. Anyway.
Maybe you could send me Cliff Notes later.
I can do that. But it's interesting. When you do the recording, though, just a short note, that if it does fall out, ladies and gentlemen, know that in the recording, it generally comes up in the recording. Not all the time, but it does come up. But anyway, what's happening on your side of the fence?
Well, I just want to give you a little tidbit about the Kentucky Derby here in America.
Oh, yes.
So I don't know if you noticed that, you know, Renegade was supposed to win, but Golden Tempo did, and if you put 19 and 1 together, mirrored, it's 9/11.
Boom.
And Renegade was the call name we all know for Obama, you know.
What do you guys think of that update?
But also just a little fun fact. The horse that won, Golden Tempo, is from the Phipps family, and the Phipps family had the opportunity to get Secretariat and did not chose him. But the family lives here in Tallahassee, and all their grandkids went to school with me, and they still live on the original plantation here in Tallahassee.
Interesting. Very, very interesting fun fact. That's one that I missed. So thank you. Thank you, honey. Did you send me those in your messages?
No, I didn't.
But that's really interesting. Absolutely. So Renegade, being that, of course, Obama was to win, and then a 9/11 comes over the top and goes, you're not going to win any longer. This Kentucky Derby, we've been watching this for quite some time, haven't we? And boy, have we been waiting for this race to be won on the track, so to speak. So
the other fun fact is, you know, Renegade and Golden Tempo were the jockeys were brothers. So did you know that?
No, I didn't even know it was on. I was focused on the Forex and all the money stuff, but I missed all that. That's really cool.
So Renegade doesn't win, but the other brother does, and it's the Golden Tempo.
Golden Tempo, brotherhood. The brotherhood is broken.
There you go.
Geez, I love this show some days. Things just come to me like that. But yeah, we talk about the brotherhood, don't we? How it's broken. So Very interesting. That is very, very
Anyway,
interesting.
that's my tidbit, and of course, always love your show and appreciate you very much. So thank you.
Absolutely. Appreciate you more than ever. Thank you so much. Before we get to Carla, Elves and Kay, how are you? You popped up before. I missed you.
Oh, it's all right. I was just going to tell you I couldn't hear you for 10 minutes as well.
Oh, of course. This is what I say.
Okay, that's all I was trying to say. I was trying to shout at you, but yeah, thank you for
Oh,
what you
that's
do anyway.
okay, darling.
I'm just
That's okay.
listening
I was
in, so.
wondering why so many people were putting their hands up.
Yeah, I was thinking the same. Anyway, carry on.
And I saw it drop out from like 290 down to 200, and I thought, okay. But I have to keep going because, as I said, sometimes the recordings will pick up what I was saying. But anyway, it is what it is. And some people hear it, some people don't, just being shadow banned like everything else. But thank you. The Carla B, did you have a question at all, darling, other than the fact that you didn't hear me, perhaps? I don't know.
Oh, that's I was trying to let you know too, and I didn't know how else to do it. So
that's okay.
I apologize. Well, thanks for everything you do for us.
That's okay, darling. No worries. Dana Light Warrior, you can certainly say Angela has always got something, and then Boo or Bo, could be Bo.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good, Mel. How you going?
Awesome. Angela, how are you, dog?
Yeah, good. We couldn't hear most of your. Well, I couldn't anyway. I went in and out, and nothing. So, is it going to be recorded?
Yes, it's been recorded. Thank goodness for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mel.
That's okay, darling. They just cut off all the good stuff, but that's okay.
Okay. No worries. Well, one question. Do we know what banks in Australia we have to go to yet or not?
Who said you're going to a bank?
Oh, so we're not going to banks. Okay. But there is no redemption centres here in Australia, is there?
There is redeeming centres, yes, if you want to call them that.
Okay.
Much to the surmise of gurus. Yes, there is places where you redeem. They will be possibly inside of bank buildings. This is where the confusion comes into place.
Yep.
But as I said, for security reasons, they're not going to announce that until such time as they're ready to have you over there for safety and security. So, but hold on to your hats, Angela. You're not going to miss out, and I'll be here, and we'll go through this together. So right. We'll probably have a special show for Australia, and hopefully that'll be on YouTube, and someone can whack it on Facebook for me, just to let people know, those who are still on Facebook. But all is good. All is good. So,
thanks, Mel. Okay. Thank you.
My pleasure. Dana Light Warrior, would you like to have a question other than the fact that I was, and they paused me again. They just paused me again.
No one could hear you either, but that's okay.
That's crazy. That's really crazy. You know, when I'm over the target, when they do that, and then all of a sudden you hear me speaking, and it's like, you can't make that up. You cannot make it up. But anyway, thank you, Dana. Appreciate you. Yvonne.
Thank
you. Tribal Power, you're there. You should have a question as well, if you can hear me. But anyway, that is all good. So we're back up to 224, so that's a good thing. You can still hear me. That's excellent. Tribal Power, yes. I'm sure you have a question. You're a legend. It's not going to let me allow you to speak. There we go. Tribal Power, when you're ready, darling.
You there, Mel?
Yes, I am. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. And you?
Awesome. I'm even better now that I know that I'm over the target again.
Yeah. I just want to let you know I heard every word loud and clear for a start. Didn't miss a beat.
this is what I'm saying to people. I don't understand why it cuts out for some people. It's like, I don't know whether some people are ready to listen to some of the dribble or what. I don't know. But anyway, who knows?
Anyhow,
But
look,
you heard it.
what I want to
You
ask
heard it. I'm good. I'm all good.
Right.
So
it's not about the RV or anything. It was something I was actually, when I was on your humanitarian one the other day, and I didn't get a chance to ask it. It's to do with the 144,000. Now,
yes.
I've heard before, a lot of people think there are 144,000 chosen ones, and they're the ones that, you know, they're the special ones. And I remember hearing some time ago that there was always the 144,000, but the words "the chosen ones" was put in as a bit of an ego thing. So I was listening to a webinar some time ago, and also on with Whamma Jammer the other day, I noticed there was a picture of what exactly I had seen. Now, the 144,000 applies to all of us, and it's actually to do with our chakras.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's speculation about it being part of our DNA as well. But I'm pretty sure Steve Fletcher over on YouTube does an amazing correlation of the 144,000 based on a biblical sector as well. For those who want to follow the biblical of the 144,000, by all means, go across and have a look at Steve Fletcher on YouTube. He does an amazing guy. I believe he's from New Mexico, from memory. I have occasionally posted the odd one of his, and he puts a very interesting connection. So just type in Steve Fletcher in YouTube, 144,000. And I'm pretty sure he's done a couple of videos with that in it. And quite an amazing guy, how he correlates everything. So
I actually listened to a very, very good workshop. It was a private workshop by R.J. Spina. And I don't know whether you've heard of him. He's an amazing man. He's all into self-healing, and he healed himself within 100 days. He'd set a target, and he did that. And he's an amazing man. And he went right through it all, going through each of the chakras and, you know, the numbers relating to the chakras and all that sort of thing. And he didn't put it on YouTube or anything. He said a lot of things just get taken down. So he went through it quite thoroughly in that workshop. So it's very interesting. And I think a lot of people are still caught up in the fact that there's only 144,000 chosen ones when it applies to all of us. I mean, you know, this is it's essential to our existence, you know, so it's very important. Yeah. So
very, very important. You've actually been part of my weekly revision with my groups. You came up Tribal Power many, many times. Your beautiful reminiscence the other day about ascension and the stars when you read out that complete quote. And if you haven't heard it, ladies and gentlemen, you need to go back and listen to that. That was absolutely amazing, and boy, it has touched a lot of people's lives. So thank you to the beautiful Tribal Power. So that's why we love humanitarian. We'll be over in the Humanitarian 2 group again tomorrow.
Yes.
So that's always a fun day because you never know where it's going to go.
No.
Today we talk about it's always going to go somewhere. But it's a 2-hour fulfilled show. So, but definitely looking forward to that. But Tribal Power, thank you so much for your insights today. And my pleasure. Yvonne. Okay, darling, love you. Yvonne, how are you? Do you have a question? Kathy Weber, do you have a question?
Yes.
Kathy, how are you, darling?
Yes, thank you. I love your show so much. And I just wanted to say, I don't know how Tribal Power was hearing you because I wasn't hearing anything either. And I even went into my settings and it wasn't any issue. I am in Western USA. So I don't know if location has anything to do with it, but I look forward to your recording. Hopefully the sound will come through on that.
I was on a roll too, Kathy. It was all good stuff.
Yeah, I know. I can feel it. Just watching you, I can feel it. So God bless you and thank you for everything you're doing.
Well, and I thank you for sticking around for the Q&A. Thank you, honey. Appreciate you.
Betcha. You betcha. Take
no
care.
No worries, darling. You too.
Hello.
Yvonne, how are you, darling?
Can you hear me?
I absolutely can.
Oh, that's good, because I've got this pinned in my ear because it's the only way I can hear.
Hey, we're halfway.
I didn't hear any of it until, but I was trying to send you messages and all that. So I sort of putting a few things together myself. I don't know whether you were saying things like this, but the bills, when...
And what Mel was saying, Boz, I found those 3 videos I'll play from that guy, what she was saying. We'll play that shortly after you're done here.
Bills, when Trump and King Charles, were... So the bills, to me, they always ring the bell in the markets. Do you think that's something very relevant at the present time?
I think you're onto it, girlfriend. I actually said a funny joke in the middle of that 10 minutes about King Charles. That was his last bell he's ever going to ring. But, yes, I did throw some good ones out there today, and boy, did not want me to share that. But, yes, it is. It's the market bell as well. It's also the change of frequency bell, the bell where we go one, where we go all, from JFK as well. So many significance. So, yeah, very interesting. Very interesting.
You think it's pretty on the spot?
100%. As I said, whilst he was ringing the bell, we had the upgrades to the Forex exchanges. That was my point today. During the buffled 10 minutes, that's what I was talking about. Whilst he was ringing the ding-dong bell, yes, they were upgrading everything onto the Forex exchange, including Nigeria. So when you go back and listen to the recording, you'll actually get to hear some jokes that I actually said today. So.
Oh, well, I could do with a joke. All right. Well, look, thanks.
But anyway, that's all right. But yes, very significant. It is to do with the bell, the stock market. It's not going to be technically a crash. As I said, there is a prediction. I've given my prediction on XRP by the end of May to be $3.75. We will wait and see what transpires out from there. But a lot of logistics happened, so all very good. So,
and you do think every state in Australia will have places to go,
yes, absolutely,
for all of the currencies?
All of the currencies. That's a loaded question, my darling. That's a loaded question. Some of those currencies may be converted into bonds or converted into a different dinar. So at the moment, just so for those in Australia, have Iraqi dinar. We still don't have Iraqi dinar on our exchanges at this point in time. It does not mean it's not going to be there at redemption or that's going to change. What they will do is that they will peg it to probably most likely the Kuwaiti dinar and give you the exchange rate of that.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Yes.
And what about the
Iranian real?
What about the Zim?
The Zim is different. The Zim bond will be treated as a bond, okay, and because there is a bond platform. So, Yvonne, you know how we used to be talked about it's going to be tranched and it's going to be paid out, you get 80% goes to your project, 20% you get, rah. No, it's bullshit. It's a bond. Yeah. It gets treated as a bond, goes onto the bond platform, and that I'm pretty sure from what I can work out, there's 3, 5, 10, 15 and 25-year bonds. So, again, calculating the risk on that, and I think it's a better way to do it. And I'll explain why, Yvonne. With all of this revaluation of currencies, you're going to be completely cashed up. You're going to need 3 years to educate yourself on how to run a project, this, that, and all the rest of it as well. 3 years is going to go like that, okay? During those 3 years, you get paid dividends or yielding on those bonds as well. So you get a top up, just like an ordinary treasury bond. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, now take a deep breath. We all want to go and do our projects. I get that. But again, like I said, isn't it better to be safe than sorry, so to speak? And we
So
all
it's just
need
money put aside.
That's what it is. Yeah. Because like I'll probably go into it a bit more tomorrow in the humanitarian groups, because we have 2 hours there to go through it, and I'll explain it a bit more. So your projects are massive. Some people's projects aren't as massive, but with the amount of funds that you're going to have, you could probably start the process with the funds that you've already created or hedged. Just remember, we've been talking about hedging with gold and silver and things like that as well. But the ZIM bonds are going to be treated as bonds. Your agro checks are going to be classed as a currency, so you will get paid for those, okay? But it's just the bonds that will be redirected to what we call the bond platform, and you'll be paid out as such.
So
it's not.
Do you think they're only going to take one, or because I was gifted?
No, sorry, I swore then. Sorry, Yvonne, I swore. No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. Okay.
Yeah.
Just take all of it, darling. Just take all of it. Whether you were gifted one or not is irrelevant. No one should be dictating. This is the problem, Yvonne. Think about this. We've actually been dictated to by gurus for many, many years, myself included. We were dictated. Oh, you had to have a ZIM. No, they were selling you that ZIM. They were selling it to you. They were selling you the ZIM and the idea that you needed a ZIM to have a project. That's bullshit. There's different things about running a project. And a lot of projects are already within the system already. Does that make sense? But there's going to be specialised projects. There's going to be specialised projects that you are going to have, and some of them are for animals, some of them are for different spectrums, other than the basic ones to do with housing and things like that as well. Those ones are already set in motion. That's giving back to humanitarian. But those ones that are being specialised in certain areas, so be it. But as I said, as these things unfold, understand, it's not so. I'm not saying you're not going to get paid for them. What I'm saying is there's just going to go through the process. And as I have said many times, I'll talk more about that over in the Humanitarian 2 group tomorrow, most likely, and we'll go into it a lot more depth. But yes, the ZIM bonds will be paid out as bonds on the bond trading market. So, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, and thank you for all the work you do.
Oh, that's okay. No worries at all. Easy. So,
have a good day.
You too, darling.
Bye.
Ruth Ann.
Hi, Mal.
How are you?
Just anxiously waiting, fabulous, just like you.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Marka, you're up next too. Marka K, you're up next. So yeah, go on, Ruthie. Sorry, darling.
Okay, no problem. So the Trump IRA that he just announced, signed the executive order on, is this maybe our portal to our QFS accounts? Is this something we need to watch very closely?
Yes.
Not just for retirement.
No, it's not just for retirement.
Yeah, can you give us more info on that? And I apologize if you've already said anything, but I was one of those that couldn't hear earlier, so I'm sorry. Thank you.
You have to listen. The replay's going to be bonza, I can tell you, because I was actually quite funny today. I was really disappointed they cut me off. Okay, the executive order, the IRA. Okay, so yes, it is to do with your retirement. Understand the retirement plan is to be, I think, from 55 and above now.
We got
So kudos to me.
22
I'm
minutes,
just
guys.
scraped in by the skin of my
22.
teeth. I don't have to go back to work. That's awesome. Thank you, President DJT. So that's basically it is our retirement. The mechanisms here in Australia are indicating that you now, well, I know that you are over in the States, can be in control of your 401k. And your 401ks can be converted, of course, into gold and silver or linked to gold and silver, as they are in many countries. I've seen it here in Australia, where we get control of our superannuation, we call it. You call it 401k over there. And we get to, as I said, link it to that of precious metals. Also, too, those who have a Revolut account, Revolut has also now added precious metals, that being gold, silver and platinum, to their card as well. So thank you for all of those who are supporting me. Not that I've had any support from Revolut, but it's not a financial advice, but definitely Revolut is one to have a look at. If you are running a business, Airwallex is probably a good one to have a look at as well. That's Airwallex, Wallax, LEX at the end. And these platforms are pretty amazing platforms. And yeah, it's definitely a digital world that we are going to. So with all of that being said, yes, it is an executive order to be watched. It is your retirement, and you take control of your finances when it comes to your retirement and not being dictated, as I say, to those of the government as it stands right now. So thank you very much, Ruth Ann. As I said, there's a lot of things going on. So that was another one that not that I missed it, but you can only fit so much in a 10-minute conversation that you didn't hear anyway, but that's okay. But thank you very, very much, Ruth Ann.
Thank you.
Macca, my pleasure, darling. Macca, yes, anyway. The big cigar, love and gratitude. How are you? From Cairns. Wowza. I was born in Cairns, just putting it out there. So there you go. Apparently, I was born there.
Yeah, thanks for your information. A week or two ago, you spoke about it was like financial advisors down in Melbourne.
Yes. Well,
how can I get a link to them or find out a bit more information about them?
I'm pretty sure I've posted them, but they get lost in the feed sometimes. I'm just going to make a note. So this is your, they call them holistic lawyers and accountants, and they are based in Melbourne. And I will repost that link. I think I did only, my apologies, Mark, Macca, because I don't think I did post the one for Australia. I think I posted the one for UK, Canada and the US. So I will do that one. Yeah, I'll post that afterwards. Sweet.
And how do I join the Australian group that you have?
Oh, as I said in the 10 minutes that you probably didn't hear, it's a private group, but you can certainly, if you want some private info, just private message me at Mel Micah, and eventually I'll catch up with you.
Okay.
At Mel Micah. Oh yeah. So you can catch up with me there. So yeah, this is just a group of people, who have like extended families and things like that as well. And it's just a private group. But you can certainly, I've put it out there for KW if she's willing, able and capable. I'm putting her on the spot today. She's a fantastic lady who is as tough as nails, but has the biggest heart. And if someone out there like that would like to start the Australian group, I just can't manage any more than what I've got. That's the thing, Macca.
Okay. Yes.
Does that make sense? But I'm happy to come on and ask questions, or especially specifically for Australia. I'm trying to put as much news as I can out with my schedule about Australia. Hopefully you've been catching that news on the channel as well. And if someone is willing and able to do that for an Australian group, I'm more than happy to come on. It's easier for me to come on and answer your questions than it is to have a Pacific group and try and run a chat room, because it ends up being a chat room. And it's like, oh, I can't deal with chat rooms. So, but definitely, Macca, keep an eye on it. But as I said, I did say to someone a bit earlier, I think it was Carla, that if there was anything specifically for Australia, I would announce on the main channel any Australians who want to go through the RV process, then I will definitely put that out there, Mac. So
okay, thank you very much. I appreciate all you do.
No worries at all, champion, and stay warm in North Queensland. Any cyclones coming your way?
No, they're all going to New Zealand.
Oh, well, there you go. Okay, so New Zealand's getting hit right now. There you go. I knew it had to be one. It'd be one of you two that gets hit. So, but yeah, generally it comes even over from the west. So Western Australia's copped it. It normally floats over to New Zealand as well from the west. So
we must
yeah,
have
good
a
old
good prayer group. We must have a good prayer group in Cairns who's going to miss them all.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So very interesting times, but that's fantastic. So, but we're down in the last 15 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. So if there is any other questions, if not, we will call it. Oh, hold on, there is. I've got to scroll down. Let's go down to, yes, Wayne. We got Wayne Lazaro, Gold Nugget. I'll release you. The beautiful Emily McGee wants to ask a question. I'll allow that one, and we'll go from there. So who we got? Gold Nugget, how are you?
Hi, Mel. It's Charlie R.
Hello.
Yeah,
How's things?
I had to get on my friend's account because I could not hear you, and I didn't know if it was my phone, my account, or I'm not sure, but I didn't get any of what you said after 5 minutes in. So I was able to hop back on.
Thank you for sticking around. Thank you.
Girl, I was trying. My efforts paid off. But my question for you is, when I hopped on, you were speaking with someone about currencies, and you brought up something about IQD. I'm not sure what you said, but then it jogged my memory, because the last time I had checked on even a simple Google search, IQD to USD was May 1. And I said, oh, I haven't checked on that. And so while you were talking, I went back to that site, and they're still stuck on May 1. And I said, okay, let me check other currencies. So I checked IDR to USD. That's updated to today. Excuse me. I checked VND to USD. That's updated to today. So then I went back to IQD to USD, and it's still stuck on May 1. So I'm wondering, what were you saying about the IQD being pegged or something? Am I onto something?
No, absolutely. I love it when people are actually out there doing exactly what I do anyway. But so yes, they are due to drop today. The reason that IQD was the first, let's just put it into a different perspective, Sweet Charlie. It's because the IQD, as I said, is a very, very special, unique one. It's always been the cog in the wheel, so to speak. The reason it is still sitting on May the 1st is because it's already been done. Understand what I just said then?
Yes, ma'am.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is done.
Wow.
It is sitting there. We just have to wait until these others roll through. Now it's going to be a little process. In the 10 minutes that you may have missed, there was a very significant date in there, and it's called May the 14th to the 15th. So last week we saw the integration of Coinbase integrating, and I talked about a little bit about Nigeria at the end of that 10-minute delay because I was over the target, boom, straight away today. That's why they cut me off. They integrated everything onto the Forex. What is the Forex? That is where your currency exchanges. We're up to four. I saw 3, 4, 7 participants. So we saw that to the process of the so you and a few others will pop up. But just and
I don't know. She's breaking up pretty bad, you guys. What do you want me to do?
should be some don't have tried.
I'll see if I can fast forward it.
Well,
We only got
10
minutes, you guys.
For instance, in Australia, doesn't come doesn't mean they can't redeem it. They will peg it to Kuwaiti dinar because it is still a dinar. Does that make sense?
Oh, makes much sense because I remember you speaking on that quite a while ago with Kuwaiti and the 2 dinars, Iraqi and Kuwaiti, possibly pegging. And so I've kept that in the back of my mind. And then I remember a few months ago where Kuwaiti bank officials made a special trip to Iraq.
They did.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
They could have driven. They right next door to each other. They had to fly. They could have driven, but anyway. But that's okay.
But
get
you
on
know
a train
about
like
that, right?
that. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, so.
But it's the same with the Iranian rial. They will probably peg that. They could possibly peg that to the Omar rial as well. Because a lot of countries, as I said, when we talk about those bridges, they bridge each other all the time. Those bridges. And I did happen to talk about in the 10 minutes about the Stellar Protocol 26. It's being a massive upgrade. That was to do with Yardstick. The Protocol 26 also occurred. So you'll have to go back and listen to the first 10 minutes again, honey, because it was great. I was on a roll today.
You had the perfect image. You were coming in so clear. I saw your lips moving and no sound, and I said, uh-oh.
Melt over the target again, but anyway, it is what it is. But yeah.
A few weeks ago or a month or so ago, you gave me a heads up about Alaska, and thank you for that. I've been seeing some things happening there, so thank you.
Talking about Alaska, so that was a few weeks ago, and then all of a sudden we started seeing things popping up about Alaska. What about the amazing story about how Mel said that she was doing a beekeeper story, and next minute, 2 days later, Trump comes out as the beekeeper?
Yes.
Highly recommend, if you haven't already seen it, ladies and gentlemen, is to watch the actual movie called The Beekeeper. It is with Jason Statham. Of course, the girls love watching him. He's such a little hunk. And, of course, he is the beekeeper. This movie was released, I believe it's on Netflix in 2023. It is very, very relevant to what is going on right now. So just a little movie night for you to keep you going and to put away all that other stuff that's been going through. But, yes, the beekeeper. How ironic is that? So, yes. But thank you to the beautiful Gold Nugget and to all of your girlfriends that are there. I send my love, and we will catch up next time around the shore. So,
yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for your time, Mel. Love you much.
Love you too. Wayne Lazaro. Wayne, how are you? And then we'll go to the beautiful Annie. Sorry.
Me and my wife listen to you religiously. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
ATO, I'm just worried here in Melbourne, in Australia with the tax. Do you think income tax will get wiped out in Australia? Or how do you think it's going to go? Like I know Trump, he talks about in America, but do you think it'll happen here?
We're winding down.
It will?
Okay. So, Wayne, if you haven't followed me for some time, I said many, many years ago. So let's go back and let's do a quick revision of the Australian Taxation Office and how much it has changed. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll tell you, this is the short version. On the 20th of February in 2020, the Australian, quite significant, isn't it? A 222 there as well. What I want you to think about is that on that particular day, we actually saw some big changes going on in 2020 that a lot of people were missed because, of course, we were all focused on the COVID scandemic, pandemic. Now, what's interesting is that particular day, we received some adjustments. The J5, which is your Joint Chief of Staff inside the Five Eyes, came into your Australian Taxation Office and practically took control of it back then. I know, right? Now, during that time, they actually released the what we call the Royal Assent. There's your tariffs. That gets rid of your taxes. That's the short version. That's pretty exciting. I did mention, I think it was last week on the show, I did say, Wayne, that as of the 1st of July this year, you will start to see the implementations of your income tax changes. Okay, so take a deep breath, because there was 26,368 changes last year, which was the biggest change I've ever seen. Normally you have about 6,000 or 7,000 changes in your ATO. This last year, we saw 26,000. And a lot of these changes are very big, significant changes. Well, I mean, when you're single and all the rest of it, honey, you got nothing else to do. You go in and entertain yourself with the Australian Taxation Office changes. That's what I did. I could recite some of them because some of them are very, very important. But yes, back in 2020, those were all occurring in the Australian Taxation Office, and your J5 came in and has been making those changes. You'll also see, Wayne, reductions in capital gains tax as well. Will they actually do it? I think they're going to drop that by 20%. That's massive. That's massive. And eventually, over a period of time, of course, you will receive reparations on all of those that have sold properties prior to that cut-off day. These changes, by the way, Wayne, in Australia and across the world, commenced in 2012 when, of course, Ripple came out onto the networks of all of that. So in 2012.
Thank you, Mel.
So that's
we're really stressing about the ATO, about the tax.
No, you don't have to worry about it. No, you don't have to worry about it.
She's messaged you too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we both
cool.
listen to you. Yep.
That's cool. If you type in Royal Assent, February 20th, 2020, and that will start your ball rolling as well. And even if you typed in the search engine for J5 in the Australian Taxation Office, Oh, and don't be surprised if you don't find the 1933 seal in amongst all of that. So that's exciting. That's very, very exciting for all of the Australians.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I think I jumped on Wolverine's chat the other day and I mentioned that NAB sent my wife an email regarding the upgrades for May.
Yes.
So yeah, it's definitely all happening. It basically said that we're giving you control and we're going digital. I mean, it's quite exciting when you see that in an email. So, because NAB is one of the top banks, correct?
Correct, yeah. It was one of the ones, it was the first to integrate their Reserve Bank or our Central Bank of Australia into our Australian Treasury. So what you'll also notice too, Wayne, if you're going digging around in the Australian Taxation Office, you'll also start to see connections, and this is for every country, ladies and gentlemen. Every country has already been transformed into your Treasury. Treasury, of course, is treasures. Treasures are gold and silver.
My
That is where you...
My wife's name, treasure.
It is a treasure. It's an absolute treasure. And so are you, and you are blessed to have a beautiful wife who is beside you and supporting you in such a way. So you are definitely blessed, my dear brother. So
Please, I'd love to catch up with you if you're in Melbourne again. So
100%. That's not too far away. I can assure you of that. So we will stay in close contact. Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right, champion. No worries. To end this show, we've hit the hour mark, even though a lot of people missed the first 10 minutes. That's okay. We're going to go to the beautiful Emily McGee. How are you, Emily?
I'm actually really good, thanks, Mel. I just thought I'd pop in. I've actually been here for a while, and I want to commend you on your Marcel Marceau act that you had at the beginning, because I certainly couldn't hear anything from here, and I was getting lots of DMs from other people saying that they couldn't hear. But you did a really good job, and I started counting how many different facial things that you could get together, and I was getting up pretty high there. But anyway, I missed the whole of the beginning of the presentation. Doesn't matter. I'll listen to the recording afterwards. But yeah,
like I said,
so I just wanted to say hello. And my question is, we'd love you to come and have a chat in our Kiwi group again, please.
100%. I can do that for you. That's wonderful. We can do that anytime. I am still catching up in I think I'm up to about 6,000 messages now. So it's getting a little out of hand, but I'll certainly pop over and say hello to the counterparts in Kiwi land. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I do apologise for the 10 minutes. What it means, the first 10 minutes, they were awesome. So as Emily said,
well, that's the first Bell video for this week so far. I put that on my post there, Spoz, before I started, so you know that I was going to play it. I got a 15-minute one, Flying Eagle, if you're still here. I want to play, I'm not sure about, but I'm going to play these two, a photo that I can't believe they posted it, and then another one from our funny lady. I think it's about 3 minutes, I think.
Walk this earth and never harmed anybody. All he did was show kindness. He tried to bring people together. He basically told people to be kind to each other, to turn the other cheek. There's not one incident anywhere where Jesus was rude, nasty, or mean to anybody. In fact, it was just the opposite. That's all he did, was show kindness, heal people, and try to bring people together. However, he was beaten to the point of any normal man would have never survived the beating. And you know, beating is a light word for what he went through. It was so horrific. I don't know if you've watched The Passion of the Christ, but I cried so hard in the movie when it came out that I was embarrassed because my face was so red and makeup was gone. I'd cried. They beat him unmercifully. And yet, when the leader, Pilate, brought him up there and said, look at him. I mean, he's literally torn to pieces. He was beat. There was nothing left on his body. Basically, his skin was gone. And said, okay, you know, basically, is this enough? And they still screamed, crucify him. So then he said, well, would you rather me release this man who's really done nothing wrong, or would you rather have a man release that had murdered people? And the crowd screamed that they wanted the murderer released amongst them. That is how strong the hate was for this man. But you want to know who started it? Was the priest. The priest started this hate against Jesus. Do you want to know why? Not because he claimed he was the Messiah. It was because he was a threat to everything they represented. They lived lavishly. They had people come to them and basically pray in their temple, and they were kind of the high and mighty there. Well, when Jesus came around, he basically said, this is wrong. This is not what you do. You can pray to God yourself. You don't have to go to a temple. Well, that was a huge threat to everything they had. He was supposed to turn all these people. They were going to stop doing what they wanted them to do, and they held a huge power status, right? Regardless. His own people, mainly the priests, started every bit of this. And they ended up unaliving this man over power. Sound familiar? I want you to think about this for just a minute, okay? If they would do this, if people, your own people, will want you unalived over power, look what's happened to Donald Trump. Look what's happening to Donald Trump. It's all about control and power. And if they get back in, you can kiss your ass goodbye. You can kiss it goodbye. You need to be on that computer every day emailing your senators, tell them to get rid of the filibuster. You need to make sure you vote in the midterms. You need to make sure that you vote every opportunity you get for red. I want you to think about it.
Okay, we got a couple out today, the one from last night. And I got a photo I'm going to share, or a statement. So here's something, I don't know if it's true or not. Flamingo, what do you guys remember this? Okay. I don't know about that one there. So this last one I'm going to play, so I can get a little rest here before we try to get 2 hours tonight. 15 minutes. So let me know if we played it yet or if it's good to play. Right. So,
plunged within recent weeks. As we have this economic stimulus package headed our way and the Fed is putting trillions of dollars into our economy, I thought, what to discuss a family who is intimately tied to the dollar. This family is as rich, if not richer, than the Rockefellers, yet they are not a household name. So let's spend this video talking about the Schiff family. I wanna stay like a silhouette, but I can't do that. Oddly enough, in order to speak about one of the richest families in America who hardly anyone knows about, we have to travel back to the Middle Ages, to a Jewish ghetto, where the Schiff family and the most notorious banking family, the Rothschild family, lived under one roof and continued to for centuries, intermarrying and essentially acting as one family.
Should
Which
I
is
play
where we
it
meet
finally?
Jacob
No, I
Schiff,
can't
who was born
remember.
in Frankfurt, Germany in 1847. At age 18, he set sail for New York, where he quickly made connections and moved up the ranks of the American banking industry. The Rothschild's now American cousin honed his finance skills and became a member of Kuhn Loeb, the European Jewish investment firm who emerged as one of the most influential firms of the industrial era. Having financed top industry tycoons including John D. Rockefeller and his expansion of Standard Oil, Jacob Schiff married into Kuhn Loeb, becoming head of the firm yet never changing the name. And additionally, Schiff became the director of the National City Bank of New York, Wells Fargo, and the Union Pacific Railroad. In 1907, he launched the Jewish Immigrants Information Bureau to encourage European Jewish immigration to the United States, and successfully
These are
devised the
last words.
Galveston
Okay,
Plan,
for you
in
guys.
which European
You guys want me to
organizations
play it?
recruited Jewish individuals and transported them to Texas. While Schiff managed to change immigration laws for one group, he actively suppressed immigrants of other ethnicities and nationalities. Also on his resume, Schiff was one of the major financiers of the Bolshevik Revolution, which massacred millions of Christians across Russia. Once established as a financial titan, this Rothschild cousin quickly implemented the family formula. Jacob Schiff, alongside his brother-in-law, Paul Warburg, waged a relentless campaign for an American central bank. This banking crusade included giving speeches in front of New York's Chamber of
I'm gonna
Commerce,
remember this
advocating
one.
for currency reform, with Jacob Schiff delivering a number of these speeches, making his intent perfectly clear. The main opposition to the Fed conveniently kicked the bucket a year before it was created.
This must be
Rival
okay to
millionaires
play.
like Jacob Astor, Isidor Straus, and Benjamin Guggenheim sank along with the Titanic in 1912. JP Morgan was supposed to be on board but canceled at the last minute. What a coincidence, right? With Congress eager to take leave for the Christmas holidays, they passed the Federal Reserve Act of 1913 on December 23rd, which called for the creation of the Federal Reserve Bank, a central bank of the United States that would oversee the nation's monetary policy. With the catch being that the Federal Reserve wasn't even part of the federal government, but a foreign banking system that doesn't even print the dollar bill. In 1933, Americans were required to deliver their gold to a Federal Reserve agent under the threat of criminal penalties. Meanwhile, the Schiff family maintained their status as banking titans, but eventually branched out to build a media empire. The granddaughter of Jacob Schiff, Dorothy Schiff, was owner and publisher of the New York Post for nearly 40 years. Also of note, the president of the Federal Reserve, Eugene Meyer, bought the Washington Post. Today, the Schiff family is as rich as ever and still highly connected, marrying into politics with a Schiff descendant wedding Vice President Al Gore's daughter. And while they've since divorced, you can see other members of the family intermingle between politics and Hollywood. To conclude here, we have a pattern that the Schiff family helped establish, and they've financially profited off of it ever since, making them one of the richest families in America. In 1913, a criminal cartel took control of the nation's monetary system. Respective families of
Can I
this
stop
cartel
it?
bought
I
and
wanna
built
stop
media
it. You want me
outlets,
to?
as well as purchased.
See if you guys want me to continue or not. I'll stop it. I'll play Nick's video. Anybody? Continue or stop? Okay, I'm gonna finish and do.
Cash back on the great indoors.
Oh, is that truffle?
Earn 5% on Chase Travel with Chase Freedom Unlimited.
You only need a small dab to reduce the appearance of puffiness and dark circles.
That's exactly what I needed.
Ladies, I have other responsibilities, and we have that the entire Republican Party was behind, and 84% of Americans wanted to see passed and implemented before the midterms. Do you guys remember that? I mean, it seems like just yesterday, we were all making videos about it, and everybody on X was behind it and backing it and pushing it. But once John Thune, the majority leader, decided it wasn't going to pass, and he wasn't willing to nuke the filibuster or hold a standing filibuster to get it done, everybody just kind of moved on. And it's almost as if it never happened. And that is a real big problem, ladies and gentlemen. If that's how we operate, if that's how we behave, then we deserve what we get. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about you, but I'm not just going to roll over and take it up the butt from the spineless GOP and just back off of the things I care about simply because they said they're not going to do what we, the people, are demanding them to do. And so I want to share something with you guys today because at least one person is not giving up and is trying to take action to hold the GOP, the spineless, feckless, ballless Republicans accountable for betraying the American people. And that is Scott Presler. So Scott Presler has dropped what he calls the game plan to punish, let's call it what it is, punish Majority Leader Thune for refusing to pass the Save America Act. And this is the action plan for we the people to make our voices heard. And I want to walk through this with you guys so that we can all collectively take action and make sure that John Thune knows that the American people feel betrayed and want to punish him and hit him where it hurts. So we're going to break this down, ladies and gentlemen. But first, smash that like button and subscribe. And if you guys are on Medicare, give our friends over at Chapter a call. A 20-minute phone call could save you guys thousands. People are saving on average $1,100 annually just by calling Chapter. And it is completely free. You guys have absolutely nothing to lose. And when you call Chapter, they're going to go through all the thousands of Medicare plans to make sure you're on the best one. If you are on the best one, they're going to tell you. And if you're not, they might have a better option for you that gives you the same coverage or more and saves you a ton of money. So give them a call today at 586-250-2968. That's 586-250-2968. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Bill Mitchell, who is, by the way, not a doomer in any stretch of the imagination, he's saying, we're going to hold the House, we're going to hold the Senate, it's going to be a clean sweep in 2026. And he's always saying everything Trump does is amazing, as far as I've seen. So this is not a doomer. This is not a black-pilled take. He is saying the quiet part out loud, the reality that even if we were to sign the Save America Act today, it is too late to be implemented for 2026 for the simple fact that it's going to be challenged in court and dragged for months on end. And so by the time we were to implement it, we would already be past the midterm election cycle. And he's saying the states don't have time to implement it operationally. And he's absolutely right. That's why I'm a little ticked off. You know, I'm a little bit upset because there was a time there where I felt.
We got breaking news, you guys. Something at the White House. Hang on, we'll go back.
so-called H-1B. That's wild, man. Yeah, you never know what is gonna come for you. Even the men are doing it now. Listen, the men have filters now. I don't know what's with men putting on filters on their face. Now the men, it was a woman, and it still is, but now men are putting on filters and all kinds of. You don't even know who's who you talking to anymore. Even the men, they got filters and all kinds of shit on their face and cosmetics and shit. You don't know who you're talking to anymore.
That wasn't very breaking news, was it?
Pretty optimistic about the GOP that we had some mechanism, some lever to pull to force the GOP to act on behalf of the American people. But John Thune, Mitch McConnell, they've got the SAVE Act sitting in committee where it's effectively gone to die. And, John Thune is saying that we just don't have the votes. So we're going to call it to the floor for basically a show vote, a meaningless vote. We're not going to nuke the filibuster. We're not going to do a standing filibuster. We're just going to do this performative theatrical thing and then move on. And so it is official that the GOP has effectively moved on from the Save America Act in any meaningful, there's no meaningful action being taken. And so that's why we need to make our voices heard. We need to make sure that we are loud and clear about how we feel about this. And Scott Presler, he's got a game plan. And so that's what I want to talk about here. And so here is the game plan. And Scott Presler points out what I've been saying here for a few weeks now. The one thing that John Thune seems to care about, and this is our leverage, is the fact that he wants Senator Cornyn to be reelected. For whatever reason, Senator Cornyn and John Thune are butt buddies. They are thick as thieves. And John Thune is willing to put $10 million, spend ample amounts of money, and do whatever needs to be done to ensure that Senator Cornyn gets reelected. And he does not want Ken Paxton to be elected senator in Texas for whatever reason. I don't really know what the corruption ties are there. I don't really know exactly what the backstory or the history is, but I know Rhino Senator Cornyn is John Thune's butt buddy. Those two guys, they love each other, okay? And so when you want to hurt John Thune, the way you can do that is by making sure that John Cornyn does not get reelected. Now, John Thune is not up for reelection, so we can't come after his seat, not yet at least. But Senator Cornyn is up for reelection, and that's where we're going to have the most leverage. That's what John Thune cares about the most. So the Senate Leadership Fund is the slush fund of John Thune. He spent millions on Cornyn's election already. Now, the Senate is not in the business of passing legislation or electing conservatives. It only exists to protect itself, says Scott Presler. So if you want to hold Thune accountable, the single most important thing you can do is help Ken Paxton on Tuesday, May 26th. Mark your calendars, folks. If you care about voter ID and proof of citizenship and you want to hold the GOP accountable, then what you can do if you live in Texas is show up and vote Ken Paxton in the primaries. Now, if you don't live in Texas, then the thing we can do is contribute to Ken Paxton's campaign. Electing Ken Paxton and defeating Cornyn would be the peaceful shot heard across the nation. And one by one, with meticulous precision, we will repeal and replace Thune's allies. Now, it's not just Cornyn, it's also Senator Cassidy. That one's not nearly as important, though, because Senator Cassidy's already polling in the toilet. The Kalshi betting odds have Bill Cassidy at 4%, with Julia Letlow at almost 60%. So that one's pretty much already taken care of. I wouldn't spend too much energy on that. We need to focus on John Cornyn. So Texas early voting is May 18th through May 22nd. In addition to defeating Thune's allies, he's also asking you to defund every Republican entity that is working against us. Do not donate a dime to the National Republican Senatorial Committee or the Senate Leadership Fund. And I don't know who the hell is contributing money to either of those things, but if you are, just know that that money is being wasted on Cassidy and John Cornyn. So You can also get a refund from WinRed for any Republican you donated to that is no longer serving your interests, that being John Thune, Senator Cornyn, Senator Cassidy, Lisa Murkowski, you name it. You can get a refund if you've contributed money via WinRed to any of the Senate GOP that are betraying you and stabbing you in the back. Now, here are the Texas congressmen that endorsed Cornyn. And here's the list. I'm not going to read them. But if you've contributed to their campaigns as well, get a refund. And so this is what we're going to do if John Thune is doubling down, tripling down on stabbing the American people in the back and refusing to do what needs to be done to get an 84% issue across the finish line. We want voter ID. We want proof of citizenship, very simple things. And it's amazing to me how hard we have had to fight just to be kicked in the teeth by the spineless, feckless, ballless GOP once again. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the call to action. Now, obviously, it's not a perfect plan, but it is a plan. Nobody else is putting anything forward. So, Scott Presser, we have your back. Let me know in the comments if you guys are behind this. The number one thing we can do to hurt John Thune for betraying us is to get Ken Paxton elected. And what an awesome trade-off that is, because Ken Paxton is the America First candidate. He is the best attorney general in the country, in my opinion, a warrior for election integrity, somebody that actually gets the job done. And it would be a blessing to have him in the Senate in the state of Texas. So, ladies and gentlemen, you guys are lucky out there to have such an amazing choice.
Okay, we haven't heard from Nick in a while. All right, let's go wrap things up for a few hours. So we'll try to get at least an hour and a half, 2 hours tonight. And then God bless it, or thanks, Bob, Kay, Flangel, Lucy, Carol, and Tim. Stay safe, stay strong, keep the faith. There we go. It's upside down. There we go. And please hit the like. God bless everybody, and sign it off for show number 1 for a Monday. And we'll see you back after dinner time. Chico and Nude.